Good morning and welcome to Tarot Time. Welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. And happy Sunday morning. And if you're watching this as a video, welcome. Or if you're watching this live, welcome. And we are here to give you the tarot forecast for the week, what we need to know, if we need to, if there's any heads up on the horizon. It should be a pretty active couple of weeks as things are very much kind of shifting and churning beneath the surface of the astrological and numerological currents that are happening in the world. So I usually like to give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications and come on before I dive right in. Now we are going to do our meditation card, our 3-card forecast for the week, what we need to know. And I also have my Native American tarot, my medicine card, my angel card. So we do a lot of fun little divination, messages from spirit kind of stuff. So anyways, hello Yvonne and Angela and Sharita's in and Colleen is in. And Sharita may be able to add a little bit of wisdom because she's a storehouse of knowledge and information when it comes to things like astrology, numerology. And one of the things that's going on is that we're, at the very end of this week, it'll be on Saturday, we have the Libra full moon coming up. And that's leading into the approach of the next Mercury retrograde also. So that's all beginning to churn, and then Pluto's going to go retrograde at the end of the month also, and there's going to be a solar eclipse at the end of April. So excuse me, very charged, very shifting, very changeable energies. Basically, as I'm talking, with spirit saying is like, yeah, we just need to be on our toes and aware, but not in fear or panic mode or anything like that. Just to stay in our center, stay in our heart, and stay in the eye of the storm and kind of be in that place of neutrality, of presence, or what yogis would call shunya, or the 0 point, being the observer of how we react rather than being the reactions themselves. When we can do that, then we can observe our own personal programming, the programming of society around us, without without I shouldn't say not without being in reaction, but without feeding into our reactions. It's Sunday morning, so excuse me, and I can't even remember the last time the sun was shining. Yeah, it's cloudy out, but interesting full moon ahead because there's it's on the, what is it, 26 degrees, I think. So we've come off that 27 degrees parade of full moons. So 26 is an 8, numerology reduces to 8. 26 is a pretty interesting number in Chaldean numerology, but I'm not going to go there this morning. But it reduces to 8, and 8 is Saturn, and Saturn's also exalted in the sign Libra. So again, it's powerful as it transits through Libra. So given all that, we really want to see what Saturn's doing on the full moon. And I believe that Saturn, I think it's squaring the nodes, right, Sharita? And then it's trining the moon itself. So it's squaring the lunar nodes. And Saturn's about structure. So, this is going to really, I think, just blow a lot of the whole structure of things around, especially around the financial systems, the government systems that they've been kind of holding on to, by a thread. And then I think there's a big, there's a triple conjunction, I think, later in the month also. Is that Venus? I can't even remember. But in any event, long story short, that there's a lot happening, a lot lining up astrologically. If spirit shows us the currents of energy that are affecting life through things like astrology and numerology. So it's good to be aware of this. And Sharita is our local expert on these subjects. She has now I believe 3 live streams available on YouTube. There's going to be a 4th one soon. I don't know when, but there will be more. And the last one about getting ready for spring 2022 is a very potent and powerful presentation that Sharita did for us to help us prepare. The idea, we want to prepare. The Earth's changing. It's part of evolution, human evolution. Things have to fall apart before they get rebuilt. We've been living in this world with unsustainable systems of government, of rulership, of economy, of everything for decades, and sooner or later it's going to fall. And it's that's happening now, but it's not a bad thing. Everything ends. Everything begins. Everything has a life cycle. The only thing that's constant is perpetual change, and the only constant in the universe is spirit or God. Everything in a physical universe is temporary. So the idea is to be grateful for what's been, what we've learned, how we've grown during this time, what the systems of government and as unfair as they are, and as devastating as things have been for certain people. We also have to understand it's our growth, it's our learning, it's our progress. So look at that with love and gratitude, but be willing to let go and to embrace the unknown. And I do mediumship, as a matter of fact. I have an event coming up. That's what I wanted to. I'll thank Sharita for filling in here. So I wanted to post this here because I do mediumship, and I often say that when you lose the fear of dying, you lose the fear of living. So dying is the ultimate change. So if you lose the fear of the change, of having to let go of certain things that we become used to in our lifetimes, and embrace exciting new beginnings, a brave new world. What's the line from The Tempest? Oh, brave new world with such people in it. I think that was Miranda's line. I love the Tempest. It's one of my favorites. But anyways, so maximum of 20. We're about halfway there. It's only $15. I can't guarantee in a gallery of 20 that I'll get a message for everybody, but I'll do my best. And if you want to be part of that, that's why I have the website, and just scroll down, go to the event and register. I wanted, before I post this even on Facebook again, I wanted you guys to have the first crack, because these always fill up. We will reach our max or very close to it. So anyway, I'll take this off the screen now. I think you guys have this. So I want to see what Sharita's saying. I want to see what we're saying here. Yes, Colleen had a very wild week. Yeah, it's been energetically a really wild week. Sharita and I have been talking behind the scenes. I feel like there's been a new kind of like an energy attack, if you want to call it that. I don't want to be fear-based or sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. But that said, there are, and I say this a lot, so my regulars bear with me, but there is an agenda. There is a grand plan in place. There's steps along the way. You can call them the cabal, the deep state, or whatever, but there are a select few that are controlling all the systems on the planet, including the corporations, including the governments. Like the president has very limited power, and there's powers over the world leaders that make kind of the agendas up. But anyways, there's a point to that. But in any event, it's all starting to change, and what we find is that there's like energetic attacks that are happening in the collective, because they don't want people to awaken, because awakened people means that they're not going to be able to have everything, while the rest of the world is in a state of perpetual lack, basically. So there's a lot. I don't know how it's happening, but I mean, the people that run the show, so to speak, they know also about things like astrology and energy and how energy flows and how to manipulate consciousness, mass consciousness through media, but it may be through technology also. And what we're finding is a lot of people that are what's it doing? Is it snowing out? Oh my God, I think we're getting a snow flurry. Okay, April, what's today? The 10th? Anyways, point being is that there's a lot of these kind of attacks on the collective, and a lot of people are having like health issues or circumstances that are going wrong and stuff like that. So there's really kind of this blocking force that's gotten really, really strong lately. And some of you may be able to relate to that. And I've had a lot of back issues, and I have a slight scoliosis, and I'm talking to different friends, and they're saying, their chronic issues have been flaring up, and things that are vulnerable to them have been really feeling like under attack. So, the idea is to stay present, stay in your power, and keep expanding, teaching those that are teachable and reachable. Keep expanding your heart into the collective. We do that here on the channel. We have different meditations for that. And on that note, also, Spirit has been kind of nudging me to do a solar light code transmission. So I'm going to do that soon. But anyways, I wanted to jump into some tarot. Let's do our meditation card now. And before I do that, I want to just check your comments. I don't know, we made tons of progress. Oh, yes. Higher World Economy Forum. And let me tell you, they've infiltrated everywhere. Thank you, MT, for that. Thank you for Sharita. Well, check out her lunar scopes. Very, very. Hey, Crypto Bear, welcome. I don't know if you're new, but welcome. Anybody that's new, you want to introduce yourself, say where you are. Yes, the nodes at 22 Taurus Scorpio will be square Saturn and 23 Aquarius on the full moon. Thank you for that confirmation. And killing me, nothing is worse. Yeah. I mean, it's again, I always, especially on YouTube, because it's a censored platform, I'm always a little hesitant to be, putting out the conspiracy theories. I mean, I often talk about conspiracy fact versus conspiracy theory and all that. Some of the conspiracies are proven true, some are proven false later on, but usually there is a foundation of truth in even some of the wildest conspiracies. And my take on it is, for the government to be transparent, tell the truth, then people aren't going to have to really dig in and try to figure out where the conspiracy is. If there's a history of withholding information, of manipulating the masses, of programming people and censoring things, like if all these smoke screens did not exist, then they wouldn't have to worry about like all the conspiracy theories that are coming up, because there'd be no need for them, because we'd all know what the deal is, and we'd all be working together, and we'd all be working from the heart for the betterment of all, not just to line the pockets of the less than 1% of the richest people in the world. That's all that it would take for people not to have these reactions and stuff like that. So anyways, I think I've said enough on the subject. What do you guys think? I think there is that we have been censored. Yeah. So this is why I do stuff on Patreon. It's my it's crowdfunding, so it's a membership program. It's only $5 a month though for the basic membership, and that's one of the reasons I go on another platform. As I get a little bit of time, I may check out things like what's the one? There's one that's newer that's completely uncensored. I forgot what it's called. It's not Rumble, but I think that's a good one also. Anyways, I may look into other platforms also, but as far as I know, Patreon's a private platform. It's not censored, and we do now. In April, I'm upping it to 2 live videos a month where we can just get together, hang out, talk about the issues, what's really going on, things that I can't necessarily say on YouTube if I want my my videos to not get taken down, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to type that into the live stream, but I'll leave information on that, as I always do when this becomes a video, on the pinned comments. So I know we're rambling on a little bit this morning. So thank you for bearing with me. So what is our meditation card for the week? That is the question, and we will have the answer in just a second. Okay. This is it. And this is the Page of Wands. Did we get this last week or the week before? We've gotten this one recently. All right. Without the, I don't know if we can see. Yeah, everything's reversed on StreamYard. Okay. So that's what the Page of Wands looks like in my deck. The way to meditate with tarot, or one way to meditate with tarot, is get nice and relaxed. Always get present. That's what meditation is. You're not thinking. You're just being, and then you start to open up to the energy flows of the universe and consciousness of the universe. So that's what meditation is for. It's to get you out of the thinking mind and out of the very limited physical, and to expand into other realms of consciousness. So when you get present in your mind, step into the card. So this is like a narrow doorway of a panoramic view. Step into the card, and if you're visual, you may see the scenery. If you're not a good visualizer, you can still use your imagination. You can still feel, sense, know what you're stepping into. And by the way, and virtually anybody can learn how to be more visual through practice and through learning certain techniques. I may actually do a video on that one of these weeks on how to do that. So just step in, and there may be spirit guides or energies or entities that are communicating with you. You may meet the Buddha or Jesus or one of the ascended masters. But the idea is to step in, just be present, look around, get messages. What do you feel? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you knowing? And that's it. And that's how we meditate with the tarot. Now, energetically, pages are of earth, wands or rods are of fire. So you're tapping into the elements of earth and fire in this card. And because in my deck there's also a little bit of water, there's looks like snow-covered mountains, and pages are often about news, and in this card he's kind of like the like what's the word, the spreading the news. There's a word for that. I can't think of it this morning. And the town crier, that's what just came into my mind. So he's kind of the town crier. But anyways, but he's holding the wand. He's got a staff. He's confident. He's young. And it's almost like I have this information, I have this knowledge, I need to share this with you. So see what spirit tells you as you meditate with this card about your life, what you should be doing during this time of massive change, what you should be teaching or what you shouldn't be teaching. Is it time to maybe go out and demonstrate, or is it time to just stay home and meditate and connect to spirit, or go inward? Should I go outward? Should I go inward? Should I go sideways? Should I go up, down? Whatever it is. So let's move on. And I'm going to do 3 cards now. And hi, Claire. Telegram. That's the one I was thinking of. Telegram. Thank you. It's like I said, I may watch on out Telegram. These there's so many of them are just another. Okay, thank you, Sharita. This crier's the way shower. Thank you, Sharon. There is, I follow the Inspire channel, and he's John Nolan's taking a lot of his stuff on a different platform. I don't know if it's Telegram or if it's something. I thought it was something else. It wasn't Rumble, but he was saying this is a completely uncensored platform. I don't know, but we'll see how things go. I don't know, if YouTube's going to be around forever. I don't know what's going to happen. There may be a time where I'll need a different platform. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? With mass censorship and all the shifting and changing. There may again. I was talking about the grand plan and everything. If they have their way, there'll be a metaverse rather than an internet, and that you would need a passcode to get in there, and therefore more of your rights and freedoms and information goes on yet another database. But everything's about trying to centralize, trying to give more power to the governments, take power from the people, and centralize everything. Now, I'm not a political expert, and I haven't done a lot of in-depth studying, but from my very limited knowledge base, I think we call that communism. And I think every society that's tried that on the planet, it's been a failed system. So that's, again, I don't know the details. I mean, 40 or some odd years ago, I did study a little bit of Karl Marx and dialectical materialism and stuff like that, just as a way of getting informed and understanding, the political situation on the planet and everything. And it just kind of seemed to me like it was very utopian, beautiful ideas kind of wrapped up in this desire to control the world. So I don't know, but anyway, even the word communism, it comes from commune. We love the ideas of being in communes and being community and everything. So watch the language. The technology is in the wording sometimes. So we definitely need to be aware. Awareness is important. Not in fear and panic, but in awareness, and that's when change can happen. So what we collectively work out will happen under the Mars retrograde later. Yeah, that's a great point. I agree. Locals. That's what it is. Locals. Thank you. And thank you, Matt. Yeah. Yeah, John spells his name Jean, the French for Jean. Jean Nolan. Yes. Okay. Speaking of channels I like, I'm kind of counting the days and hoping that Russell Brand's channel doesn't get taken down. I mean, maybe he's gotten too powerful, but man, he really knows how to walk that tight rope. All right, so here we go. Back to tarot. I'm pulling 3 cards, asking Spirit to help guide me with this. And interesting, this Page of Wands really wants to like be part of this whole conversation today, apparently. What do you say? Russell is a Freemason? Really? I didn't know that. Interesting. Cool. So here we go. So these are the cards that I pulled. We get the Hangman a lot. Yeah, Sharita. I have mixed feelings, but I do feel like he's giving, he's citing his sources and everything. I do trust most of what he's saying, but we really have to trust our hearts and everything like that. He likes to use his 33 a lot. Rand, oh boy. Use ultimate discernment with him. Thank you. Yeah. I use ultimate discernment with everybody, what I see on YouTube or any of these platforms. I use ultimate discernment. I have I studied martial arts and that's how I got into spirituality. You follow Bruce Lee, and I follow like one of his quotes, like to the letter, and that is, what's the quote now? I can't even remember it. Absorb what is useful, disregard the rest. And that's kind of how I look at people, like Russell or people on YouTube. It's like, what's useful? What can I learn and gain from that? I'll take that. What doesn't resonate, I won't, basically. So absorb what is useful, because it's like putting together the pieces of a puzzle. So what's I'm concerned about the same with Russell Brand. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I don't know, with the 33, I mean, three, is a number of expansion and growth. I mean, that's a powerful number, the divine triad. So why he has threes, and I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Russell anymore. He's funny. Yeah, I feel like he is pushing the right buttons and everything. So I'll leave it at that. Um, so a lot of fire. The hangman comes up a lot. That's key 12 in the tarot. That's the sacrifice and Chaldean numerology. And Sharita knows much more about that than myself. And in the card, he's hanging upside down. He's not in distress. Like, he's just hanging upside down. There's a little golden aura around his head, and his hands are tied. One of his legs is crossed, and it always reminds me of Odin, which is my son's name also. That the Norse god that hung from the tree to attain wisdom, basically. And sometimes it's about, we need to sacrifice something in order to attain our own higher good. Sometimes this is about a pause. I feel like, because as I do these weekly spreads, it's covering like a lot of different possibilities. Like, in other words, part of it is the trends in society. Part of this may be a personal message for you, you as the viewer here. Part of it may be a message more for this group, this community, and this collective, and what we need to do. And part of it is just basically guidance from spirit. And these wands, fire is kind of a very raw, uncontrolled energy. And the hangman is very peaceful. So you have all this kind of anxious, kind of frenetic energy, like all around, but in the middle we have the hangman being very peaceful. I feel like in part this is just another message from spirit telling us, try the best that you can, and don't even try, just allow, just be, but don't get caught up in the emotional whirlwind of the world around us, because as soon as we do that, we get pulled into that program. The programming is emotional, and I talk a lot about programming. I discern the difference between social programming versus our personal programming, like those repetitive messages that we get growing up, that shapes how we view the world, and creates the lens of what we see our reality in. So we're all programmed through our childhood. I mean, I could even take that a step further and just saying that's how our subconscious mind works. Programming in and of itself is not a bad thing, because the subconscious mind works strictly on programs, just like computers. Computers were fashioned after the human brain. So what happens is, when we're growing up, that our parents, society around us installs hardware into our brains, into our mental computers, and through the power of repetitions, downloads programs into our mental computer. And then we run those programs throughout our lives until we consciously change those programs. So that's our personal programming. Like, a good example is that my parents fought all the time, and I grew up under a lot of anxiety, so I became kind of a nervous person. Yeah, and I'm working through that now. But also, I had this program that relationships are challenging, there are struggles. So as I came of age, guess what? the relationships that I attracted into my life were a challenge, they were a struggle. So that's an example of personal programming. But social programming is how those powers that want to control everything on the planet are programming the masses. And you can see that through advertising, through media, through the censorship, through the events that a lot of people tune into, like the Super Bowl or the ball drop, and the subtleties of language that's used, the subtleties of body inflections that are used when they communicate information. All these things are subconsciously programming us. And if we can stay as the hangman, like in this place of peace, not being angry about the programming, not being sad about it, not being reactionary in any way about it, but just understanding this is what is. This is part of our evolution as a species. And if we can get into this mode, then we're not affected as much, and then we're more aligned with spirit. So it may not be the time to act. I feel like they're saying as our message for this group, watch and wait. There's a beautiful song by the Moody Blues called Watching and Waiting. I mean, it's a little bit melancholy in a way, but it's also very inspiring. It's from, which album is that from? Is that, oh, it's not A Question of Balance. I think it's To My Children's Children's Children. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful Justin Hayward song called Watching and Waiting. And I feel like that's part of our message right now. Then that's not to say, to be completely idle or ignore things, be aware, be observant, but be in our hearts. Because when I'm talking, I'm feeling my heart chakras. I feel like it's saying, stay in the heart. That's our power. That's our eye in this big, massive storm on this planet is our own heart. It's our own sanctity. When our rights are systematically being taken from us, finding our own sanctity and our own sovereignty from within. So other than that, I think there's going to be some crazy news. I think one of the things that's going to start to really percolate is this whole thing about pandemic fact versus pandemic what's the word, conspiracy or fantasy or whatever. And it's trickling out, but I feel like as we start to shift into maybe going to more of an endemic mode, I think we're going to start to hear about what they want to do about that. I mean, we already are, and there's a lot of distractions in the world and everything. So I think that's the message. This Page of Wands has come up twice. That's often about news. It's all reversed. It all feels manipulative. But what else is new? You don't need a tarot reader or a psychic. You just have to open your eyes, and that's all you need to understand that for sure. There may be a couple of you that may be leaving a job or quitting a job or something like that. So if that's you, or one of you's having a lot of problems with people around work, because I feel like this is addressing maybe 2 or 3 people that are watching. The idea is to not get too involved with the politics. Don't take sides, is what I'm hearing. If this message is for you, don't take sides, is the message for you with that. And for one or more of you also, you may have one of your children or a family member that's somewhat a stranger you're not in contact with. Send them a lot of love with your heart, and let them know that you care, whatever you can, even if they're not going to answer back, or if they're going to ignore your text or email or whatever. Let them know that you care. So let your loved ones know that you care about them and that you love them, because tomorrow never knows. We don't know what the world's going to look like tomorrow. We don't know what we're going to wake up to. We don't even know if we're going to be alive tomorrow. So we really have to be present in the moment, and know that this present moment is a gift. And the idea, if you really want to raise your vibration and frequency, I admit that I go to some of these channels that are very out there with like 5D and conspiracy theories and extraterrestrials, because I channel myself, and the Arcturians and the archangels come through. So I know that there's some truth and reality. I know that there's intelligences that are working with us at this time. But anyway, there's a point for me saying that, and I completely lost the point by describing the circumstance and the situations. But in any event, the idea is just to keep the heart open, be open to the truth, and understand the truth from within. So anyway, what are you guys saying? Well, there's this funny little saying. The difference between a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy fact is 6 months. I don't think it's that cut and dry. Some of them I again, if you don't know, you don't know. I'll never pretend I know something that I don't. That's the thing. You want to stay open and take it all in, and not make judgments, because our judgments come from the past. They come from our programming. Our judgments come from society. How we're subconsciously programmed by society. Now, granted, in this group, we're more awake, and we're not as vulnerable to the social programming, which is great. So continue on that path. But the idea is just really, understand that again, our personal programming is the lens that we see the world with. It's our belief system. It's hardwired into our brains until we start to reprogram ourselves and be observant of the reactions. I say this a lot. I when I have a bad reaction to something, I'll step back and watch myself reacting, and I'll have more awareness of where that program came from in my life that caused that reaction. I mean, sometimes it's just a human reaction, sometimes it's something else. But anyways, anyways, Michael say something about the Page of Wands? Yes. Did you touch upon the first card? Was it the Knight of Wands? This is the Knight of Wands, yes. And this is the Page of Wands. And the way I have this, can't really see. There you go. Now maybe you can. Knights are movement. Knights are fire. That's fire of fire. To me, this feels like very chaotic, erratic energy. It's kind of like people like headless chickens, that kind of an energy. Oh, my ear just buzzed when I said that. Thank you, Spirit. That was a good one. People are so confused and programmed, and so full of fear. It's like people are really, really unpredictable. You just have to be a little bit careful in dealing with people at this time. And I know that's old news. I get that, but I think it's ramping up a little bit. So, social media, all that stuff, it's all highly censored, and all that. But in any event, there's a lot of dissension, and the message is really staying in our truth, because it's been building and building and building, and it's still, we're still in the building phase. We haven't gotten to that crescendo yet of this whole like shift in society, this whole great awakening or great reset or whatever you want to call it. Although I don't like those terms too much, because they associate or link with certain political parties and ideologies. But you get the idea that that we haven't maxed out yet on the tensions, the changes, all the stuff that's happening now. I have to just say, a big thank you for those of you that jump on the transmissions lately, where we're working with the heart brain coherence and affecting the collective. Because I've noticed 3 times in a row after we did this, and yes, we can take we can take credit for it, even though we're a small group in a world of 7 billion. We can still take credit for this. That I've noticed less about Ukraine, like for the days following that. I've noticed that they're not bombarding us with as many negative imagery and stuff like that. That it does seem that as we do this stuff, and it's not just us, it's a lot of light workers are doing the same, that we are soothing the collective just a little bit. And if we keep doing this work, we may be able to, as a collective consciousness, shift the whole narrative, and maybe soften the battle, soften the war, maybe even end it sooner than later. And the other thing about that is this is all because this is about the news. Nights are about movement. The other thing about this is, they'll send, we'll see a lot of horrific photos and hear of a lot of horrible things and atrocities against civilians, terrible stuff. And my compassion, runneth over, and we're not here to diminish people's sufferings or to be trite about it and just ignore the fact that this is a real human issue here. But the point I wanted to make is we didn't see nearly as much when it was like, say, Desert Storm back in the day, or the Middle Eastern wars or stuff like that. And that, unfortunately, war is war. It's horrific. There were very similar atrocities that were happening in these other wars, but you see, the USA was involved directly in these wars, but they're not yet directly involved in this war yet. It's interesting, but things to notice again. This is part of the programming. It's like what do they focus on in the news? What don't they focus on? What do they completely leave out of the news? Stuff like that. So again, stay in your power, stay in your truth. So anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, Michael. I hope I did. Maybe, there's one. We are, yes. Thank you, Angela. I've had them communicate through song. Oh, yes, Spirit does that. The angels will do that, yes. What's going on right now? Housing messed up. Yep, it's all part of it, yeah. How nice arrived, exactly, yeah. Does anyone else have? Yeah, this is part of what Angela was saying, or whoever. I'm kind of reading like or Jody was saying. I'm kind of assuming you know what I'm talking about. But yes, spirit communicates through music. Music is a universal language. Music is about harmony. It's about rhythm. Everything in the universe works in rhythm and timing, and it's an art form. Music, memories, like things you're drawn to in the environment, things you just remember out of the blue, words that come in your mind, images that come in your mind, symbols that come in your mind. These are all tools of communication from spirit, whether it's the angels, whether it's our loved ones that have crossed over, whether it's our spirit guides, our animal totems, no matter what. Let's do a Native American card. I know this is becoming more of like a talk, more than a tarot session. But it is what it is, and I think you're all sticking with it. So thank you. So from the Native American Tarot, this is the card that wants to come out. The Chief of Pipes. So the chiefs are, I think, are the kings of pipes, or what? Wands, maybe. Anyway, I like to look at the image. He's got a fire. So he's got one hand in the sack, one hand playing his flute. There's a medicine wheel to his left. He's under like a little teepee pyramid. It has a fire. And you know what? To me, I'm. Let me see if we can show this to you without a lot of glare. I mean, it's peace, but he looks a little bit worried also, but in a state of peace. And it just kind of gives me the feeling of like you be again. It to me, and it's not the same, but to me, these cards kind of line up energetically a little bit for me. And I'm getting back to the Chief of Pipes. So, but and you guys are just talking about music also, and he's playing his flute too. So maybe get into your music, get into your art. It looks like the shield up here is really like there's a bow and arrow. So it's kind of like pipes are about peace, but it's also warriorship also, like peace and warriorship. That's the goal of being a warrior, that we want peace. And sometimes in order to preserve our rights, to preserve our honor and our dignity, and to have freedom in our lives and in the world, you have to be capable of defending yourself and defending your loved ones and defending your way of life. So that's your warriorship's about honor, and he's just kind of like, he's got his fire, he's got what he needs if he needs to go into battle, but he's at peace. So I feel like our message is really find that place of peace from within. This is not ending anytime soon. We're going to see it, just things shifting. Things will build. Once it builds, once things come to a head, that may not happen till 2024 even, but I think between now and the next couple of years, it's going to happen. And then there's going to need to be a reset, not like the great reset, but more of a humble reset. What are our true values? How can our values as human beings marry the technology, basically? Because they really, the forces that be, want to kind of utilize technology and have that be part of consciousness. It's like the bionic man in a way. And then I see these things about artificial intelligence and kind of blending artificial intelligence and human intelligence. And the first thought that comes to my mind is, did these people ever watch The Terminator? I mean, that's not a good idea. Technology has its place. It's a beautiful thing, but it's got to be in balance. It can't be at the expense of the human soul and our free will and our sovereignty. It's got to be more like something that can work with that and even enhance that, I want to say. So let's do a medicine card. This is Native American energy, also working with North American animals. And we all have animal totems because, as human beings, we're an expression of all the other forms of life in a way. So all the wisdom of the different animals. Okay, turkey medicine is always good. This tends to come up around Thanksgiving a lot, but turkey's about the giveaway. So as we give our rites of thanks, every November, turkey gives of its life in order to be part of our ritual of thanks, basically. And turkeys are very kind of, they're intelligent, very interesting, birds and animals. And they were going to be the national bird for the U.S., and they chose the eagle instead. Somebody's talking about Russell being a Freemason. I could definitely see that in him, by the way. Russell Brand, that is, if you're tuning in late, but of YouTube. But it's interesting because the founding fathers are also of the Rosicrucian order, so they were Freemasons also. And I'll read a little passage because I like to do that. That's key 31. And 31 is a 4 in numerology. 4, even though it's grounding, it's Mars energy, so it's also often about action as well. But forget about the giveaway. And turkey is actually thought to be the giveaway eagle or south eagle of many native peoples. The philosophy of give away was practiced by many tribes, although they have to update that and delete the word tribe and insert the word nation. But anyway, don't mind me. Simply stated, it is the deep and abiding recognition of the sacrifices of both self and others. People in modern day society who have many times more than they need should study the noble turkey who sacrifices itself so that we may live. In turkey's death, we have our life. Honor turkey. So enough said. We're going to do our angel card and then wrap it up for the morning. By the way, tomorrow, and this is on the schedule but tentative, we're going to have Jake Cooper on to do a quick talk about near-death experiences, because he's had that when he was a young child, and it changed his perspective of what death really is. Like as a medium, I'm always validating the continuity of life. And in fact, on Thursday, I've got a video coming out where you can be your own medium using a very simple way of using letters and words. So that's going to be this Thursday's upload on the Medium channel. But Jake's going to talk to us about his experiences. He's also a published author, and he's in Arizona now. So the reason it's tentative is his flight's got to be on time, but he gives talks all around the country. So he's agreed to share with us his near-death experiences, what that means, and tap into a little bit of the mysteries of life and death. And the mystery is that we don't die. That's the mystery. So I'm seeing the ears, but what did I pick? Earth Angel. So that's our angel message from Doreen Virtue's angel therapy card. And the message here is, you are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. Oh, I love this one. Beautiful, beautiful energy here. All right, my screen is it's doing all kinds of funny things. I don't know if you guys are seeing that also. Technology. Are we, Sharita? We're not even in the approach yet of Mercury retrograde, right? Okay. Anyways, we're glitching out here. Maybe the whole matrix is glitching, but that's a beautiful message. We are all light workers. That's why we're drawn together in this community. We're here at this time and place to develop ourselves spiritually and to help others develop also, to help show the way. So shine your light, everybody, and thank you for being here in the heart on earth, in the love to evolve. Yes, thank you for those beautiful words. Hello from is the sun actually shining in South Carolina, Tanya? Because I don't remember when the sun in the Catskills was last out. It's interesting, Michael. They stated he was actually dead. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some people clinically are dead and they come back. And one of the interesting things, that I saw a study like years and years ago about that. By the way, if we go tomorrow live with Jake, it'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But one of the things that they did is they found that there's a very strong propensity for people who are Christian, when they got the tunnel and the light, to see a white light, and people that were Jewish to see a blue light. And to me, I found that very fascinating, how powerful belief is, because there's only one light. It's not like, but God shows them himself or herself in whatever face we need to recognize God, basically. So that's the beauty of it. And people have been fighting and killing each other over religion. My God is the right God, your God is the wrong God. But we in this group know that there's really one spirit. It's not, it's just that and in mediumship, because I was talking about that earlier, when the spirits come through, they tap into the way that I see the world, and they give me messages in my language to give you a message. So I read tarot. So a lot of times when the spirits come through, they show me tarot symbols. And that's because spirit wants to guide us. God wants to point us in the direction of truth, and they're going to do that in our own language. So it's amazing how our belief colors our perception. Even when we're dying, we see a different colored light based upon what religion we were brought up in. And that speaks volumes right there. So in any event, that's what I got for you today. I'm just going to answer a couple of other questions. Oh, cool. Thank you, Colleen, for that. So the Blessed Mother and asked for more time. She was literally on her deathbed and lived months after that. She thanked the Blessed. That's a beautiful story. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And Crypto Bear says, can anyone share how I might determine my birth time? I'm adopted and have exhausted my... Yeah, that's a little bit tough, but but from what I understand, a skilled astrologer you may be able to discern or give at least, give a a good ballpark estimate, just sort of based upon what your personality is or what your life experiences are, and how that may match up with what your ascendant is, and your house overlay pattern is on your natal chart. So there are ways of narrowing it down anyway. Yes. All right. I know we were going, I don't know if we've probably been an hour already. So thanks for sticking with us today. And again, this is all on video for anybody that missed the beginning. And Tuesday, all the information pinned also. If anybody wants to do a mediumship gallery via Zoom, I'm only taking 20, so that'll sell out. So I'll leave that information, and check out Jake tomorrow. He's a beautiful young man, very, very knowledgeable and insightful, and has a lot to share with us. And we'll have a date for Sharita also to catch us up on what's going on from an astrological, numerological perspective, and Heather too, to do another beautiful healing meditation. Okay, for real, I'm leaving. Bye. Have a